Hello, my name's Frederick, and this is A Golfer's Walk. Today, we're going to talk about wedge play. Wedge play is pretty much where you're going to score on the golf course. It's either how you're going to recover from your bad shots, or when you hit the good drives, where you're going to score. Wedge play, good wedge play could mean the difference between having most of your putts from 10, 12 feet and closer versus 30 feet. And clearly you're going to make a lot more of those, make a lot more birdies, save a lot more pars. So there's really only 3 swings that you need to learn. And it's actually one swing, but know how to swing it 3 different lengths. So today, that's what we're going to cover. If you're interested in more videos like this, or to find out more about how I'm doing on my pursuit to become the oldest rookie on the PGA Tour, consider hitting the subscribe button down below. Hit the little notification bell. That way you'll know when I post an update on how I'm doing and some tips and show you what it is that I'm doing to get better. So today I'm at my home club, Media Heights in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Beautiful club, beautiful golf course, pretty good practice facilities, and I enjoy practicing here a lot of my wedge shots. And when I say wedge, I don't mean full wedge, I mean something less than a full swing. Because really, that's where the good scoring comes. When you're able to get inside 120 or inside 100 yards, how close can you get it to the pin? Most people can hit their wedges pretty much on line. The question is whether or not you're able to control the distance. If you're able to control it by only hitting it within 3 yards left or right of the pin, which is not terribly hard, if you're able to get the right distance, that means you're not going to be more than 9 feet away for your birdie putts. So when I learned about how to control distance, I learned it by a gentleman by the name of Dave Pelz. Now most people that have been in the golf for a while know who Dave Pelz is. He's literally a rocket scientist. He broke down the short game, the putting, wedge game, sand game, every facet of it, and broke it down from a scientific standpoint to understand how it works and what is the best way to repeat it and control it. The wedge play was the easiest thing to learn, quite honestly. The first thing you have to understand is that it's not about a powerful swing. In other words, it's about learning a rhythmical golf swing. Meaning, we're not going to use a lot of the hand muscles or rely on feel in the golf swing. We want to learn how to swing in a rhythmical manner so that we can swing at the same pace each time. It's not about how hard, it's about being consistent. So if we can create that rhythmical swing, whatever rhythm that is, but can be consistent, that's the swing you need. Now, in order to control the distance, it's a matter of how long that swing is. Now you may have heard, well, I'm going to take it to 9 o'clock, or I'm going to take it to 12 o'clock or 10:30, and that's essentially what we're talking about. I use the same type of swing as a basic guide, even in the bunker. I know how far the ball will fly in a couple of different conditions of bunker, particularly your average bunker. I know if I lay my 60-degree wedge open and I take it halfway back, I know exactly how far that ball will carry, within a yard. That's very helpful when you're trying to gauge, especially under pressure. You want to be able to go back to a few key areas. I use the same type of swing, a rhythmical swing, to be able to control that. So today I'm going to show you what I do to control the distance. So what is a rhythmical swing? Well, what that is for me is that if I'm going to take it back halfway, then I should follow through about halfway. You shouldn't be taking big swings and stopping short, and you shouldn't take small swings and make long follow-throughs. So the first thing is to develop a rhythmical swing that feels comfortable for you. Now each person is different. While I may be quick between the balls, my swing, if you've seen it, is very, what people will call smooth and rhythmical. Slow, not a quick swing. Not John Rahm, fast. So John Rahm's swing, his rhythmical swing, would be a faster pace than what mine would be. And they're both fine. The point is finding your swing that you can repeat. So once you've been able to do that, and the best way to do that is to just take usually a half or a 3/4, whichever one you feel the most comfortable with, and use that to lock in that rhythm. For me, I prefer the 3/4 because it's halfway. There's essentially 3 distances that I'll hit the ball with each club. One in which I take the club halfway back with my left arm, one where I take it about 3/4 of the way, and one where I feel like I take more of a full swing. Now understand that my full swing is not the same as my full swing trying to hit my club as far as it can go. It's more of my distance control swing. So that actually means that each wedge I can hit 4 different distances. I can hit my 9 o'clock, my 10:30, my 12 o'clock in my rhythmical swing, and then my regular full swing for my 4th distance. Now I have 3 different wedges in my bag, plus my regular pitching wedge. It is generally not a club that I would use for this sort of exercise, with the only exception being the 3/4 shot, because I don't need it. So with the 3 wedges that I have, my 52, 56, and 60, I have 4 swings for each one. That means I can hit all of those 12 different distances, anywhere from 44 yards all the way up to 112. So once you have those, then it's a slight adjustment to be able to go a little bit more or a little bit less. So I know that my 60 degree, if I take it back halfway in my rhythmical swing, I will hit it 44 yards. But if I have to hit it 42, there's a couple of things that I can do to shorten that up. I'm not going to cover that today. Today I want to get just the basics of understanding how to control your distance. So the first thing I'm going to do is to work out, when I practice, find my rhythmical swing. I know how far that's going to go. So with my 60-degree wedge, I know that my rhythmic 3/4 or 10-30 swing is going to fly about 61 yards. Now when I come out here at our range, we have lots of small targets that are not a great deal, aren't way out there. So we have a couple little low nets, a couple of small stakes, and then the bigger holes out there. So I've got 6 different distances. It's very easy for me with my rangefinder to find one that's pretty close. So I know if this one that's the farthest one here of the short stakes is 65, then I know that my rhythmical swing, when I'm got my swing down, should land just a few yards short of that. So that's what I'm going to do right now. There you go, about 3 to 4 yards short of that. So once you've found that swing, and it may take hundreds of balls before you really groove that down, and just know you don't have to hit that many, but the more that you do to find that rhythmical swing, the easier it'll be to repeat the wedge swing. So now what I'll do is I will work on trying to hit just my 9 o'clock one for a while, then just my 10-30, and then just my full swing, but my full wedge swing. Once I've honed all those down where I'm hitting them consistently and I know what those distances are, then to practice, I'll jump around. Once you know what you can do as far as your 9 o'clock and your 10-30 and 12 o'clock swings are, then it's fun. Then there's great games you can play to try and hit those targets. Once you've grooved the swing, then you got to learn to hit it in certain situations, and that's what that great practice game is all about. It's about being able to jump from one distance to another, not hit 61 yards because you just swung it 10 times in a row, because we're not going to have that opportunity on the golf course. Now you need to do that in order to groove it and in order to get a feel for it, so that you'll be able to pull it off when you need to. So now I'm going to do my 9 o'clock swing. It's going to go 44 yards, so I'm going to aim over at that pole. little soft for where I want it to go. Once I get that, my 9 o'clock, then I'll jump to my 10:30. That one's pretty good, usually is. And then I'll go with my full wedge swing. A little bit thin. One of the keys to remember and mistakes that I can find myself getting into, and why I like to video myself a lot, is to make sure that you are not decelerating. It is rhythmical, but it's still an acceleration of the swing. If you start decelerating, that will make you inconsistent. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the like button. If you have a question, please leave it down in the comments and let me know. Do you use this sort of thing to control your wedges? Until next time, keep it playing.